Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Regular viewers will know I review many photographic, audio and video related products. Today isn't actually a review per se, it's more looking at a feature that is pre-installed on a Panasonic G90 hybrid camera. It's a micro four thirds stills stroke video related camera. I'm loving it. It's a great piece of kit. It's very compact. It's very similar to the Panasonic G9, but it's sort of a smaller version of the G9. Same sensor, same image quality, etc. I can't show you the camera because I'm actually filming with it. And I'm filming with v-logL that's pre-installed on the G90. And it's basically a log profile, specifically designed for video, not for photography. So if you're into photography, this video isn't really your cup of tea. If you're into video, this may well be your cup of tea. But the Panasonic G90 has v-log pre-installed. On the other models, like the GH5, the G9, etc., it's a paid upgrade. It's about 80 quid, 80, 90 quid. And it may well be worth doing. Now, we're taking a look at it on the G90. I'm actually filming on the G90 in v-log. Why people use a log profile is because it gives you a lot more dynamic range when you come to edit the video. All the manufacturers have some form of log profile. So you've got Sony with their S-log, Canon with C-log, Nikon with N-log. It's funny, isn't it? N for Nikon, C for Canon, etc. But I don't know what Blackmagic call theirs. I don't think it's B-log. So all the manufacturers have a log profile, and when you come to edit it, it looks as flat as anything. It looks really yucky, and that is the whole idea, because you can actually draw all the shadows back. You can and the highlights. You can do a lot more creative looks with a log profile. And another reason why the likes of cinematographers, filmmakers, documentary producers, etc. use a log profile is because of the dynamic range, as I said earlier. So you can do a lot more creative looks with a log profile than you can if you didn't have a log profile. But your viewer isn't going to want to watch a video that looks yucky and flat like that. That's going to need to be color graded. And there's two ways of doing color grading, really. There's the easy way and there's a difficult way. The easy way is to initially convert it from a log profile to a Rec 709 profile. Rec 709 is basically how we watch TV. Pretty much everything that's transmitted on your TV is in a Rec 709 profile, because that's what the TV recognizes. Those standards are changing, but at the moment that's Rec 709. So there's two ways of applying LUTs to a Rec 709 look. So this is recorded in v-log. As you can see, very flat, not very nice at all. That was a shot I done earlier with the windows closed, when I reshot it with the windows open. All shot on the G90. So there's two ways, as I said, of converting this to a Rec 709 format. Now you can do it at clip level, so that puts the LUT actually on the clip. So no matter how much editing you do to the clip, that LUT will always stay with it. And in Final Cut Pro 10, which is what I use, this is what we'll do. So if we look at that, master clip is what this clip is. So we're going to, all you do, oh, don't do that. All right, highlight the clip, go to your information tab. I mean, make sure this is on extended. You go down to camera LUT, and then you just choose Panasonic v-log, because obviously that's what it is. And lo and behold, as if by magic, you've now got a Rec 709 look. And without doing any adjustments to it whatsoever, it looks really good. I think it looks really good. You know, the skin tones, the brightness, the contrast, etc. But now you've got a base to work with. So basically that's created a base to work with. You can now do some magic with that and increase the contrast, brightness, etc., etc. In a studio environment like this, I've lit it. So you don't really need to use a log profile, to be honest, because you've got controllable light. But when you're outdoors and you're on location, you may well want to use a log profile. You might be working in, particularly if you're doing documentaries, you'll be working in environments you can't control the lighting with. So you may well be shooting into light. You may well be having all sorts of really dark shadows, etc., etc. So being able to bring those shadows up, bring the highlights down easily is wonderful. So that's one method to get you to a base level, is applying it at clip level. The other method is, which is a much more controllable level, and the controllable thing to do, is to download a LUT utility, of which I've got mLUT, drop that onto the clip. This is my second clip with the blinds open. So I've now dropped it onto the clip, as you can see there. And then you go into that LUT utility and you choose what LUT you want. So you've got here, load custom presets. You see that? Load custom LUT. Click on that. Oh, well, no, you don't click on that. You click on LUT presets. And I've already got one pre-installed. I downloaded one that converts it from Panasonic v-logL to a Rec 709. It isn't, I don't think it's a Panasonic one, but it does the same thing. So click on that, click OK, bingo. There you have your base to work with. You can see that. Oh, nice image. Look how lovely and sharp that is. That's using manual focus on the G90. And what I'm using is the Panasonic app to be able to control it. And works great, doesn't it? So that is, at base level. And then what we can then do, once we've got the LUT on the clip, we can then make adjustments. So you can adjust your contrast, brightness, highlights, shadows, whatever you need to adjust. So that's basically, how you use a LUT and how you convert it to a Rec 709 format for editing and then obviously viewing for your audience to view. But there are things you need to be aware of if you are using a log profile. And this applies to all the manufacturers' log profiles, not just Panasonic v-logL. And the first thing is, on the day of filming, monitoring it. Now on the G90, on the back of the screen, on the camera, it shows you the muddy sort of, what you see is basically what the camera sees, which is that. And that's not very pleasant. It's difficult for focusing, difficult for setting your exposure. It's very horrid. But that's what is on the G90. There's no way of changing that. So you need an external monitor where you can view the you can view the image as a Rec 709. So the camera is recording it as a v-log, but you're viewing it in a Rec 709 format. And basically you need a monitor that you can apply LUTs to be able to view it. You can buy monitors that have got LUTs built into them, and that's what I would recommend. They're not very expensive. I've got one coming actually. They're around 250 quid. I've ordered an Andy Cine one. And then you can view it on location in a Rec 709 format. Now with a GH5 and Sony cameras, and many of them, they have a built-in LUT facility in the camera, so you can actually view it on the back of the screen, on the camera as a Rec 709, i.e. a proper image, but the camera's recording it as a log profile. That is something you need to be aware of, is actually monitoring it on the day. Second thing you need to be aware of is a log profile will record at a higher ISO. The base ISO is always higher. On the G90, Panasonic have set the base ISO to 400, so that's quite high. And you really do need ND filters to be able to bring down the aperture, otherwise you're going to be shooting at very, very small apertures, and you don't really want that. So that's something else to be aware of. Make sure you've got some ND filters with you, particularly if you're shooting outdoors, because it will. And some of the log profiles, I think s-log2, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think s-log2 is a minimum of 800 ISO. So there you go, that's something else to be aware of. And the third thing to be aware of with the G90 anyway, not with other cameras, but the G90 records internally 8 bits and also externally 8-bit. It's not a 10-bit file. Normally with color grading, you would want to be working with a 10-bit file because otherwise it breaks up. But this 8-bit file that's coming out of the Panasonic, I think is very, very good. And I can see why Panasonic have included v-log in the camera. It's actually working really well. I haven't been outdoors and tried it outdoors yet, but that is just something to be aware of. The G90 is only 8-bit, it isn't 10-bit. So they're the three things to be aware of with v-log on the G90. It will vary depending on what camera you're using as to how efficient the v-log is. But yeah, great way of filming. It's a bit like shooting raw with stills. You've got a raw image, you've got a much better dynamic range and a much better way of editing the actual photo as opposed to using JPEGs. So there you go, that's v-log on the Panasonic G90. I don't think I've forgotten anything important, but I do hope you found that useful. I hope you find my channel useful. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. It really means a lot to me, helps me grow the channel. And if you like this content and you like this tutorial, please hit the like button. It's very helpful to me. Helps me grow the channel. And thanks very much for watching. Cheers for now. Bye.